Chris Jenkins from CharlotteVibe.com, and I just saw this in the back. This is one of my props. I was happy about it. I want to show you guys that. I am your 40-yard dash media champion. But anyway, Chris Jenkins from Charlotte Vibe, here to talk about the Carolina Panthers' latest playoff chances, all right? And I'm not going to talk about all the possibilities because I like to keep things simple. I'm only going to focus on if they're more so winning than like how many games they can lose. And try once again, this video is not what I want to happen. This is just, as a journalist, being in the media, what I feel will happen. Of course, I want the Carolina Panthers to make the playoffs, but I'm not here to be a fan. I'm here to be a reporter, give you information to digest. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Last time I was here, a week ago, told you where you stand. Well, since then, now you're looking at the current playoff standings. The New Orleans Saints are a #1 seed. And the Los Angeles Rams are a 2 seed, followed by the Bears, Cowboys, Seahawks, and the Minnesota Vikings. So Minnesota Vikings, as I predicted, lost to the Seattle Seahawks at home. So that gives us 3 games remaining. Just keeping things simple, because, you know, after watching the game Sunday, I was like, man, this is it, this is over. Like, they're done, but they're not done. They still have a legitimate chance, and I'm not going to compare this to the 2014 team because, yes, they came back from, I think it was 3-8-1. Please don't kill me in the comments if that's not the exact record. And they made the playoffs. But I don't feel like their remaining schedule was as tough as it is right now. There's many power rankings out there, but always look at the NFL.com power rankings. They have the New Orleans Saints as #1. So we play them 2 out of 3 of the remaining games. So I still feel like we're not going to make the playoffs. But here's what happens. Let's look at the remaining schedule for the Minnesota Vikings, right? Now, I will say this, the Minnesota Vikings did make a change with their offensive coordinator, so they could kind of go in limbo. So that changes the outlook a little bit, certainly, when you have that kind of change there. Their remaining schedule is the Miami Dolphins, which I feel like, again, going with that offensive coordinator change, I don't know what I want to say with that one. I'm going to give them the loss to the Miami Dolphins. They next play the Detroit Lions, which I give them a victory, and then I give them a loss to the Chicago Bears. And I'm still, honestly, guys, not sure how much I feel like the Minnesota Vikings will lose against the Dolphins because that's also a home game for Minnesota. So I kind of feel like you guys are swaying me there, but let's go with that. Seattle beat the Vikings. Vikings fire offensive coordinator. Remaining schedule, they go in limbo a little bit. They go 1-2. All right, let's look at the Carolina Panthers' remaining schedule. They play the New Orleans Saints. Then they play the Atlanta Falcons, both home games. And then they play the New Orleans Saints. There's no way I'm giving them that victory in New Orleans for game week 17, right? So that leaves the Falcons and the Saints on Monday night. Man. I'm thinking here, because again, I feel like you guys are swaying me because you were so hard on me last week. I am going to say that we lose to the Saints both times. We lose to the Saints, we beat the Falcons, we lose to the Saints. We finish 1-2. That's not enough to overcome the Minnesota Vikings, and they still win. And you also look at the fact that if we go 1-2, look at what happens underneath us. I'm not, like I said, I was going to keep this simple with the teams that are beneath us and saying that we more so have to win than we lose. And I'd still don't feel it. There's just so many weapons that the New Orleans Saints has. And you can say, yeah, Tampa Bay played them well. Tampa Bay beat us. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So love to hear your comments below, just as I did last week. I'm going to go into the locker room again this week, get any questions answered that you present to me. I will say, schedule changed a little bit this week because they play Monday night. So I will miss one day in the locker room. Don't get on me. It's my birthday. Tell me happy birthday below. But I will be back in the locker room for the other day and can work and get you guys those questions. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate, again, going over 3,000 subscribers. Leave your comments below. And also, shouts out to Sheltron, I believe it is, has a YouTube channel. Just found out about the guy. Looks pretty phenomenal. Cool guy to follow. You know me, I like to give shout outs to everybody who's out there doing some good things. So, as always, thanks for watching.